it's Rachel Haskins with Ideally Crazy. And today I have another special guest,
London Nelson.
this is Miss London Nelson. And so I have known Miss London Nelson for a couple years. She's my uncle's niece, and she's also my favorite cousin's cousin. So she's always, she's been over my parents' house. So that was the initial place that I met her, was over my parents' house. And I ain't gonna tell too much because you're gonna know why she was over here in just a minute. But always kind, sweet, and welcoming, and just, I mean, she just gives balls. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I like about her. But in the way, when I say gives balls, I like women that give balls, but it's in like a humble type of way. It's like loving, like they're excited about what they do, and they are truly confident, not so much arrogant, but truly confident in what they do. And so that helps. They have a different type of shine, a different type of glow to them, and it does attract people to them. And that's how Miss Nelson is. But another thing I appreciate about her as a woman who I literally go after what I want. So when I want it, I ain't got no shame. I'll be like, boom, boom, boom. I'm laughing even thinking about that because I know I got a couple guests and I know they ain't told me no yet, but I know they're a little camera shy, but I'm gonna be right back in that inbox. Now, if it was something personal or something like that with me, I probably wouldn't even ask more than once. But because it's about my business, I love it, baby. I'm not shy. I'm gonna ask again. I'm gonna ask till you come on. You hear me? And so I love that. That's how she was handling like her business, like because she was gonna work with me on some things, and Lord willing, we can still. But she goes after what she wants, and you can see like, and she's been successful at it, and so you can see like, okay, that's a good quality to have. My daddy always says, like, there's a scripture in the Bible that says basically, yeah, I know how I get with these scriptures. So, but if you look it up, it's somewhere in there. That mark the perfect man, and what that means is not that somebody is perfect, but if you find a characteristic in somebody that's perfect, that is what you would want, and you have seen them get the things that they want, look at that characteristic and try to adopt that. You know what I'm saying? So what I will say is this, like I always tell you, you can't take no. When you want something, you got to go after it. And you don't let nothing stop you from getting the things that you want, and when I say the things that you want because God said it was yours. He said that was your territory. And so I always love people with that kind of spirit, because to me, that is the spirit of God. And it's not that it's like I said, it's not bombarding, but it's like, hey girl, you know what I'm saying? It's I can't even explain it. It's divine. And so I've said enough about her. I'm gonna let her tell you a little bit more about herself.
Well, first of all, good evening. It's good to see all of you. First, I want to start by saying I like to give God all the glory for all the success and anything that I've ever accomplished. And I want to encourage someone this evening that wherever you're at, if you're just starting, just keep going. Just keep going. You got to see what the end's going to be.
Oh, man.
You don't know what the end's going to be, but you just got to keep going, because one thing I know for sure is this, is that winners, they never quit. And if you quit, you never win. So just keep going. But a little bit about myself. I'm a mother. I have an 18-year-old daughter. She's amazing. She's actually in the National Guards now, so I'm very proud of her. But I own a business. It is an insurance business, and it's called the Nelson Organization American Income Life. It's a division of Globe Life. I've been in the insurance industry about 11 years now. Have had a ton of success, and I have a huge corporate company backing me. So there is nothing that they don't do to support me. And I just feel so blessed to have this company behind me and rallying behind me. But we really have to talk about insurance today. We have to talk about the importance of insurance, why it's important, and life insurance to be exact, why it's important, what it does for your family, the benefits of it, and us as a society or as a nation, why it's so important to have in place, and the peace of mind, because that's basically what it is. It's that peace of mind when that time comes. So I'm going to get into a little bit more of that, but just want to give you a snippet and let Rachel get into it.
Absolutely. I'm glad. Look, I'm glad you introduced it a little bit. I love it because that is, to tell you who I am, I have to tell you a little bit about what I do. It ain't all of who I am, but of course, especially when it's entrepreneurship, it's the things that I'm interested in and that I like, that I've used to step on.
Oh, yeah.
And what the Bible says that your gifts will make a way for you.
Yes.
And so I always we was chatting before we even got on here, and what was so crazy, I said, it's so weird. Like a lot of the people that I'm in connection to, or that I'm coming in contact with to, we're like literally in that same season. And so, and you said, what season? That it season. The season where God is literally delivering you your promises. And it's so funny because it doesn't always look the same, but it's like, it's like a peace. It's a divine, it's an unexplainable peace that you have. And you just know, no matter what happens, you just know that it's going to work out in your favor. And when I tell you it continues to do that, it continues to do that. But it's also a season where God is giving you direction. And so we was just chit-chatting about how and we might talk about it a little bit more later, that we were like kind of in that same season. And it was so funny, like when she said it, because she started the conversation. And when I'm telling you, that's how you know it's God. Like I'm telling her that what she had said was confirmation, but what she don't know is that she was just confirmation to me. And I said, thank you. Because I mean, literally the same things that she was saying to God, I have been saying to God. Like, God, what do you need? You know, I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, I was like, God, I surrender. What do you need? And so I know you're going to do it. And so that's what I said. It's not no doubt there. I know you're going to do it. I'm just tired of waiting. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just be tired of waiting. And you're a little anxious about, because you can feel, and you can feel that it's right there. And you're like, I'm tired of, I know you're going to, I'm excited about it. And it's okay to be excited about it, but just calm down. It's on the way.
It's on the way.
And when I tell you it's on the way,
it's on the way. It's
at your fingertip, it's closer than you think.
It's closer than you think.
I kid you not.
It's closer than you think.
So we're going to jump right into the questions. Y'all know how I do. Okay, faith and foundation. How has your faith guided your decisions and sustained you throughout your journey in the insurance industry and entrepreneurship?
It has been nothing but a faith journey. When I tell you, taking first of all, just prayer. I have a strong church family that rallies behind me. We pray. We fast a lot, just going to God in prayer, up early in the morning, seeking Him. I have a little regimen. It's called Mind, Body, and Spirit. And basically what that is when I get up in the mornings, the first thing that I'm doing is devoting some time with Him, whether it's in prayer, I'm reading my word. Sometimes I'm just sitting there, I'm meditating. I think that's very, very important, because sometimes we just rattle off and think God is like a Santa Claus. And sometimes it's just time to hear from Him and just sup and spend that time with Him. And then my mind, the positive affirmations, listening to some word perhaps, or some positive, or even reading some books. I love self-help books. I think they're very, very important. And then body, and this being a nurse, it's so important that we take care of ourselves. What's going in, it's not that what goes in, but it's what comes out of a man that they found. So just taking care of ourselves, making sure we're in there, we're exercising, getting our water in, and just doing the things to take care of ourselves and prolong life, and have the energy, the mindset, the clarity that's needed. I think that's why fasting has been a huge part of this journey and getting me to this point. So faith, this is all a faith journey. I didn't know. I knew what I wanted. I know what I said that I wanted. It's been told to me that it was going to happen. I never know when, but I just, but I just waited, and it's happening. It's happening now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are so many points that you said that I can actually identify with. Like you said, with your faith guided decisions, entrepreneurship, I'm still I'm working toward being fully in entrepreneurship, but I still have a job. But what I tell you, in every step of it, He is showing me Him. He's showing me how He has to show up.
Yes.
One thing I told her, I said, He's going to make sure He's going to get the glory in my story. Because when I tell you, my hands have been tied about certain things and I couldn't do nothing. And He came through every time. And when I say every time, y'all know I'm a living testimony. You hear me? And so even today, I was telling my little girl, I just had to stop and take a little praise break because on my way home, I remember I was on my way home from work today. And I was just like, you know what? Sometimes you just have to make a decision about what you want. And so I was like, God, this is the best time for me to do it. I need to do this there. I need to make sure that all the provisions that I need to do it are there when I need to do it. And so I was like, that's what I want. And I said, and I just told God, I said, Lord, I said, and it's not, you can't do anything worthy of the favor of God.
That's
but,
right.
But so what you have to understand is that you're not working for the favor, but you already got it. And so when you say that you already got it, I talk to God like I already got it. I repeat, and how do I talk to God like I already got it? I always tell you, I always get, like she talked about, fast and praying, staying in your word, making sure you spend time with God every single day. It has to be something of consistency, because just like any other relationship, consistency is what builds relationships.
Yes.
You hear me? Consistency builds relationships. So when you're talking to God, you talking back to him in his scripture. Lord, you said
Yes.
that you would make everything work out in my favor. You said, when he said everything, I'm talking about what I had did in the business thing I needed. It was some things that I didn't, something, because you don't know what you don't know. And I was trying to fix it, and I was like, well, Lord, I don't know what to do. One thing about it, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm willing to learn, but I'm gonna put it at your feet. One thing about it, I'm gonna put it at God's feet.
That's right.
And so I told him that. Well, I'm telling you, when I woke up today, he had an answer. He had provisions. He had done everything I wanted him to do. And he always exceeds your expectation. Then he exceeded my expectation. And so I had to take a little praise break. And so I also want to say with that is, even though you're doing all that, what we talked about, it's a journey. So that, and in a relationship, it's ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? But what matters is your faithfulness and your loyalty. So that's what spending time with God creates with you. I literally wake up to God, I don't have no man, so I don't live with no man, but I have had a man before. And so I wake up to God and I talk to God like he's my man. The first thing I do, so Lord, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Lord, I'm like, God, I thank you for a good day. Or I'll be like, and sometimes it don't even start off in a prayer. It's literally me saying something to him or asking him something that at the very beginning of my day. You know how you would wake up and talk to your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend and you just start talking? That's how it is. Like I literally wake up and I start talking to God. Then I also make sure that I make sure he gets all his glory. And so sometimes when you wake up, I want to be honest about that. Sometimes them conversations when I wake up from my sleep, it's not conversations of, oh God, you're so good. It's like, Lord, another day of me not fully walking in the promise that you have for me. I want more. What do I need to do? Help me with my patience. I know, here's the thing. I know that you're going to give it to me.
Yes.
I know that you're going to give it to me when I'm ready. And like she was saying earlier, and I can sustain it.
Yes.
So help me to be patient. Help me to learn why I'm supposed to learn where I'm at right now. And I also know that I'm supposed to be, he tells us to be content and satisfied where we are. Because you don't have to worry about, is it going to happen? If you knew that it was still going to happen and it was going to happen the way that, in a better way that you could even ever put together, you would be happy in the present day.
Yes.
So he wants us to have that type of spirit, but we don't always wake up like that. But that's what I was telling my best friend this week. I said, some things, I said, even when it comes to my emotions, I had to put them at his feet. Lord, I know that your intentions are for me to be happy. I know I'm supposed to do this with joy. I know I'm supposed to have to, even when you're going through, you're supposed to be going through where you can show Christ in your life.
That's right.
And that doesn't mean you're perfect, but where people can see Christ in your life. And so I said those things to him, and then what I do, I listen to the word, and so the word goes back and confirms, I'm gonna do it, and so then it puts me in my praise. I can praise him even better. And what Miss London also talked about is what I heard her say is pretty much like a holistic approach to her faith guided life, because faith does not just stop at spirituality. There is no end to God. That's why I always say, as a nurse, I do promote healthy living. And it's not that everything that you do is going to be raw, because I eat some things I shouldn't eat. Sometimes I do some things, but balance.
Yes.
Balance. You can't do it. Most things you have to, there's a time and season for everything. So if you eating a lot around here, then how do we balance that exercise, that, or as a certain amount of hours? What I start doing is, okay, so I know that I'm going to eat, but I'm going to only eat between these certain hours. And then I try to plan my map. If I know I'm going to eat a bigger meal at this time, I'm going to, breakfast, it'll be nice, but it'll be small. We're not going to be too heavy at breakfast. So you have to use balance. And what I can say, that's another thing, my testimony, God has blessed me. I can take no credit for myself, but I am not on any medications. I'm in divinely good health.
Yes, me too.
But
Thank
just
you.
setting your intentions, what you speak matters. I want to be in good health. What I tell
That's it.
I want to be in good health. And so whatever you put in your mind, your actions are going to start to go too. And you ask God to help you with that. And I'm not the type of person that tells you, I believe you're going to do it and I don't do nothing. I believe you're going to do it and then I start making my diet plan.
That's it.
Because God has a part and then you have a part.
That is
and that's part of your faith walk. Because if you believe it was already done, you would know that spirituality is not always just this dumbfounded thing. God has a method. Yeah. You might not know his complete method, but through knowing his character, you are able to start, projecting what you see out of God into your life. So I have to have a plan. A method is a plan.
That's right.
And so I know I need to exercise. I know I need to eat right. I know that, when I don't eat right, it can't be for too long. And so taking care, because I always say, I want to look like the favor of God. You don't want the people that are worshiping the devil and doing this, that, and the other they didn't use enough discipline where they still look good. And here you calling yourself a child of God and you literally look like what you done been through. That ain't God. He can, whatever it is that you have, the scripture says, he said he's going to give it back to you. He will return the years that you lost to you. So to me, what I always say, it looks like we don't age that much. You know what I'm saying? You age, but you age gracefully. Each year you get more people. Yes. But really it's the inside coming out. Yes. You hear me? Because the more confidence you have with God, and I call God confidence, something that only he can give. Yes. So that's what I got pretty much for everything I heard. Because it's so funny. I always look for what's in common that I see with people who have, walked in their dreams, and even with myself, the things that I do, and that I've had to go through is just there are certain things that we understand about God, getting to know the character of God, so that you know how you can in your life display the same type of things that how God moves. Yes. So, childhood influence. What did your childhood teach you about responsibility, money, and resilience that prepared you for business ownership?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. I really like that question though, because coming up, it was very rough. I came up very poor with the bare minimum. My mother being on drugs, and then my father was on death row and just came up. It was a struggle coming up, but I had a really, really strong grandmother that helped aided in raising me. And so one thing she taught me, that money was a tool and not a master. And even with my daddy's challenges, he was definitely in my life. My mom too. And he was a very, very wise man. And they really always talked about how money was a tool, and the entrepreneur spirit that's from my father. That comes from my father. He always used to. I would rant and rave because I have a master's in social work, right? But he would rant and rave about having your own business. My nickname was Baby Magos. That's what he called me. And he's like, Baby Magos, you got to have your own business. He didn't care if I had a truck and I started a barbecue service. He didn't care. And I would always talk about, well, Dad, you got to go to college. You have to have education, this and that. And one thing I learned, Rachel, is that education does not equal income. No. Okay. In fact, I know a lot of people, they have PhD degrees and they're either unemployed or underemployed. So the application of what you do with it is what matters. So education itself does not guarantee any income. And people really should understand that, because I for so long, I was literally brainwashed. You had to go to college. You had to get this degree. Well, you know what? I did do that. And I can honestly say right now, and if I were to go into that field as a social worker, and then say I went to the VA, I would cap out at about 85,000, which is not even six figures. And for the last 3 years, I've made over $500,000 each year. So I really understand that is that the education part Well, I feel that, I've used some of it as maybe the math part of it, if nothing else. Obviously, social work is taking care of people, but overall, in a nutshell, education does not equal income. So I found the things that he would tell me, my grandmother, my mother, the foundation that they laid. I found those things to definitely be true, and it was more of a foundation, and that's where the entrepreneurship came from. But money's a tool. Money gives you options. The Bible talks about money. It said money answers all things, because money is a tool. You have options that you wouldn't have otherwise had you not had the money. And it's not just about, the luxury life and the things that we can go out and buy, and the homes and cars. It's about the things that you can do. For example, I'm looking forward to this year. I was a kid coming up on the angel tree every year, and I remember this as a kid, and you could write down 3 things that you wanted. And I remember one year in particular, I wanted a radio, and I got a radio one year, but this one year I got a bike. And when you get a 8-year-old kid a bike, do you know what that means? Getting a bike, it meant so much. And I was sharing with someone not long ago, and I talked about how that year it had snowed when I got the bike for Christmas, and how all of it, I didn't even remember how cold it was, because I was so excited that somebody took my name that was on a tree and got me one of the gifts. They get the underclothes, and you get at least one of the gifts. And they got me that bike. And I remember waking up, and I vowed, I said, God, if I ever got in a position to give back, I would do just that. So I look forward to this time of the year, because I go and I adopt a couple children off the angel tree. Not in addition to that, go down to the Center for Women and Families, cater their dinner, make sure I could be a blessing to them, because it is more blessed to give than it is to receive.
Absolutely.
Because if you're giving, that means you've got
You got it. That's what I always tell my son. If you giving, you got it.
And people always say, well, I want more. Well, you know what? If you want more, I encourage you to give more. Because one thing I know for certain is you can't beat God's giving, no matter how you try. So learn to be a blessing. I encourage you this week, when you're standing in line, maybe just at the grocery store, if you're in a position to just pay for somebody's groceries, just pay it forward. Just pay it forward. Because there's been so many times that I've done that, but I remember being on the other side. You remember being on the other side. And then when you get in a position where you can help and be a blessing, try to do just that.
Absolutely. There were so many gems in that I want to build off of.
Okay.
But like you said, when it comes to God, you cannot beat him giving. And this is the season where it's time to give. It's always time to give. And so I'm gonna tell you a few things and how I look at things. I've always been a big giver. I come from givers, and does that mean that I've always had to give? Y'all know I'm a single mother, and I make good money, but I got a lot of responsibilities because I live a decent life. I don't live outside my means, but I also take care of my family, my children out. If they need something, mama's gonna provide it.
That's right.
And so that never mattered. I always gave. My mother's always been a giver, because the thing is, if you wait, I see a lot of people say, well, I ain't got it. And those are people that never give. And you know what? They never give because they never feel like they got it. Because whatever you speaking, that's what it's going to be.
Say it. Say that again.
Whatever you're speaking, that's what it's going to be. Yes. I ain't got it, and you don't. And you don't, and you won't. So you don't. And then I had listened to a man who owned a company. He's talked about what drew my attention to him. He had took all his employees to I don't know where it was, but it was like a beautiful island vacation, really nice resort. But he said, I started off small. So he didn't wait till he could, that's where he was at now.
Sure.
Yeah. And he said, but the Lord told him, he said, whatever you plan on doing, then do it now. So every time there would be certain things that he did for his employees, and he didn't have the capacity or the provisions to give at that capacity that he has now. But his heart, his intentions was always that big and given to him. What he had, he was gonna give. And God had grew and grew and grew and grew him because God, he's into things that help other people.
He gives seed to the sower.
He gives seed to the
He
sower.
gives seed to the
He
sower.
gives seed to the soil because what does he need you to have it and all you gonna do is keep it?
That's
And
right.
when I tell you this, you also have wealthy is a mindset.
It is.
And so a lot of times people that
So
are
is
coming
poverty.
into wealth, and so it's poverty. And a lot of times people that are coming into wealth, their circumstances, like you said, they didn't come from wealth, but they always had a certain type of mentality. There's the mentality of wealth and more says, I do have enough. I'm going to give what I got because I know whatever I know that God, it always works out. God always gives me more. What you know about God. The person of poverty always said a spirit of lack.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't got it.
I ain't
I
got
don't
it.
have enough. I ain't got it. I got to do this. I got to pay for this. And we all know
Yeah.
somebody that talk like that. We all know somebody that talks about like how people act and different things like that. I always say, now there are different instances. I always say, keep everything I say within context. There are instances in which you go out that, the people have been so horrific that you would not tip. But tipping may not, now and in different countries is, it might not be where you should, tipping could be disrespectful. But in the United States where we live, people do enjoy tips. And you get to decide what that tip is going to be. But I do feel like tipping is something it's a mentality of wealth because you have enough to give a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
You hear me? Because God, I always want God to give me a little bit more. I want him to give a lot more. You hear me? And like she said, money is not, it's a tool. So you're trying to make something, you're going to I had an auntie, you say, you work it, you don't let it work you.
That's right.
And so if it's a tool, you don't let the money make you fearful. And what you're saying is, I ain't got it. That's fear. You're afraid that you're going to run out when God has more than enough. So who do you really believe in? And it's depending on where you grew up and what people said around you, it is real easily to get in that mindset. But what you can do is you first decide, I'm gonna change the way I think about things. Lord, help me to see it differently.
Open your hand.
Open your hands.
Because what happens is
Can't get nothing in.
nothing gets out, but you don't leave
You don't get
room
nothing
for
in.
nothing to come in. People do not understand that principle. Nothing gets out, but nothing comes in. You
Nothing.
have to open your hand. It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay to
It's
give.
okay.
It is okay.
It's
to
okay.
give.
And then you know what? What you do is, that's a positive mindset, right? So then when you say, well, if I give this, the last time I gave this, then this happened. Lord, let me see. That's the side I'm choosing to look at. Let me see where this happened, but you took care of this.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? You took care of this. And so that is a mindset. And we're going to go even back into entrepreneurship and how she talked about education. One thing I always tell my children is that everything's a hustle. What I love. And so you get the education, but if you want to and there's nothing wrong. We need people to work jobs. But if you are a person who wants more money, there's a man that I listen to in business, and he says a salary is the wage that people pay you to forget about your dreams.
That's right.
And so that's fine. Everybody is, and it's okay if you don't dream a lot. There's no problem with that. Maybe your dream is going to work and you don't want a lot of responsibility coming home and get back. That's perfectly fine. But if your dreams are a little bit different, then you know that you're probably going to have to be in the field of entrepreneurship because one thing my daddy says, people are not paying you wages to get wealthy. Business will run.
Did you hear what Harriet Tubman said?
What she said?
She said, I could have freed more slaves.
But they didn't know they were slaves.
If only they knew that they were slaves.
I did hear that.
So the light bulb, the thing about it is just what you said. They give you that to forget about your dreams when in actuality, they'll never pay you what you're worth. So if you work for them, you build their dreams. But if you work for you, whose dreams are you building? And this is my mindset. If I'm going to work anyway, because I got to work anyway, and I'm working hard, how much harder would I work to build my dreams versus theirs, because the reality is this: you make the companies millions and you don't even get a fraction of that.
Absolutely.
Literally, you're making them millions. So if I'm going to put this much work in, why wouldn't I do this? They'll never pay you what you're worth.
They'll never
Ask
pay you.
yourself, do you drive the car of your dreams? Do you live in the home of your dreams? Are you satisfied with the balance in your bank account? Are you
on the way.
debt free? All of those things. And it's about the mindset, like you said, because wealth is a mindset, so is poverty. People, it's not even about the tangible things that you have. It's the mindset. You can take somebody that don't have anything, and if they have the wealth mindset, it's
gonna
only
get
a
it.
matter of time.
It's
It's only a matter of time. Remind me of Tyler Perry and the other success stories. These people, they were homeless and undereducated and all of this, and look what they were able to do because the vision. The vision.
The vision was there.
They wrote it down. It was clear, and they made it plain. And that's why the Bible says that they perished.
Hold on, give
without
me a
the
second.
vision.
Say that one. That scripture you just quoted, because that's important in planning. Say it. The Bible says,
Wait a minute, which one?
write the vision.
Oh, write the vision. Write it. Make it plain. Make sure
Business
it's clear.
plan.
Yeah, make it plain. Write it, make it plain. And let me tell you, I've been doing a lot of vision work with my organization right now, because when you have a vision, you have a collective or a corporate vision, but then each person has a vision within the vision, okay? And when you're working on that corporate vision, you got to make sure that everybody's in alignment with that, and we're all in agreement together to carry the vision out. Because if you have somebody over here and they're not in alignment with the vision, then it complicates the vision. So you got to make it plain. Make sure that every single person knows what the vision and the mission is.
Your mission statement.
That's it. The mission statement. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And what are we going to accomplish together?
Together.
They said if you take people with you to the top, it's not that lonely. So
You hear me?
you literally have to let the light bulb turn on. And this is an internal conviction that you must have within yourself. What do you want? What are you speaking? So a man think it, so is he. So what comes out? You got. That's why I'm big on words.
I'm big on
what
words.
comes out. I don't speak. I don't speak poverty. I don't speak poor. It's not. I know I was born in the projects in Carter Homes. I know where I was born. I know that nothing around me said that I could be a millionaire, but he said I could.
Period.
And because he said I could, then I can.
Then it is.
That's it.
And like she said, even with the words, I told you guys I was having on my last little chat that I had with you. I was talking about how my best friend said that her verbiage was going to be different. And so and what I mean by that, present tense. The Bible said, "Let the weak say, I'm strong." So while you are still weak, you ain't supposed to be talking about I'm weak. You supposed to be saying I am strong.
See?
And the reason why we said when he said it's done, and you keep saying something else, then you think that you're not getting what you want because he ain't doing it. But he done told you what to say. He done told you what to do, and you not doing
You
it.
canceling it.
You canceling it. Every time you start
say
saying that, you canceling it. You're canceling
You
it.
canceling it
And-
every single time.
And that's what he's trying to get you to understand. Trust me. Let the weak say I am strong. So say that you're strong, even in your weakness, because he said it is done.
Yes.
You feel like you haven't caught up to it, but the reason why you ain't really caught up to it because, like you said, like she said, you're canceling out. Oh, this, that, and the other. And the thing is, you might not jump right there right away. It's a process. But Lord, help me change my mindset. Start doing things during the day to prepare you. Like you said, spend time with yourself during the day. Then people say positive affirmations. That's that you're teaching yourself to speak positively about yourself and your life and the things around you.
And that's the law of attraction right there. That's where the law of attraction comes in. Because as you get those positive affirmations and you speaking that into the atmosphere, those things begin, it just draws to you. And everything about your life begins to level up. Everything about your life begins to level up. You have to see that thing where it shall be. And that's why I love it. I love the vision. The vision is so important.
It is. I mean, it's so, and God gives you the vision. So here's the thing: you have the vision, and while He'll give you people to help build the vision, you have to pay, like she said, you have to make sure that everybody has the same mission. But what you also have to know is your role to play. So there are gonna be people that are around you, and they might not even mean to, but you have to be careful that they don't start to, get you away from what your vision is. So the best way to do it, I always say, be yourself. You have to, and part of the way that people get you away from being who you want to be, is by trying to let everybody tell you who and where to be. When you see people that are confused, they say one thing, do the other. It's because they got too many people in their ear and they trying to please everybody. So be yourself, be your authentic self, and even the things that you don't like about yourself, you're constantly getting better in Christ. You hear me? And anything He don't want in you, He'll take it out when He's ready. You hear me? You give it to Him. You tell God your intentions. These are the things I want to change. You can do that even through therapy. You go and start doing interventions to change those things. Because I believe that I'm a believer.
Oh, yes.
So I believe that God can fix anything if it wants to be fixed. You hear me? Some people be like, well, this can't. I don't put no limits. You can do what you want to do.
Say it.
But I don't put no limits on God. And if it's broken, why would He not fix it?
Yes.
What kind of God you serve?
Yes.
I serve an almighty God. If whatever it is, now He's a gentleman. If it wants to be fixed, He'll fix it. And then if you don't want to be fixed, He ain't gonna fix you. But I believe that, and God's so powerful that He'll fix the people around you.
Yes.
To go, because He know if you got this person raising hell and this, that, and the other, it's gonna be a problem. He'll either move them or he'll move in their life.
Yes, He will.
Where they are, where you see the glory of God. You be like, Lord, she didn't change. She's doing it. She's talking like it. He'll do all of that. So I believe, when I tell you I don't put no limits on God, I literally just, my daddy always talks about Mary, Jesus' mother, but Jesus hadn't performed any miracles yet. And so, but they were at a wedding. You guys know where Jesus turned the water into wine. And so what it was is they had ran out of wine, and Mary said, she's a believer. She said, Jesus can fix it. That's like, this person, Jesus can fix it. So he tells his mother, because it's like talking about, Ma, it ain't time yet. It's not time for me to be doing that. And she act like he didn't say nothing. She sent the servants. She said, whatever he tell you to do, do it. And then what did we hear at the end of the story? He had turned that water into wine.
That's what we heard.
So when I tell you, people, my friends will laugh, and even people, they be like, you be so delulu, but it always worked out for you. Because I don't care about none of that. When people are trying to tell me rules and stuff like that, listen, when I say I got favor, it means I don't have to do what everybody else do. Because why would God blesses you according to what you need and the capacity you have to hold. And He does like that in everything. This person might not need the same provisions that I need. So I know that one rule that applies to them, if it's causing conflict and hell in my life, I know that's not the will of God. And so I say, God, help me with this.
Yes.
And so when I say, God, help me with this, because some people let a rule or a law or something like that. And what we're starting to see is that people change rules and laws at their convenience.
Oh, yeah.
So you better get into God and get to know God, so you can actually start seeking Him for the things that you need. So that's what I do. I don't worry about no rules of this, that, and other. That's not saying I go outside the law. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if I know I need something to change, I don't care what this say. This is what I need. You hear me? I don't worry about none of that. This is what I need. He'll change the whole
Guess what He said?
situation.
He said, I hold the heart of the king in my hand. You see, people have to do it even when they don't want to. They'll have to bless you even when they don't want. He said that I hold it in my hand. You understand? Lord. So He can turn it in your. I felt that. He said I'll turn it in your favor. And in this next season, this is favor.
That's what He told me. He said, don't settle.
Yeah. In this next season, it's favor.
Get what you want.
Favor.
And I'm literally living that season right now.
Yes.
Because y'all know I say I'm a living testimony. I don't do all that fake stuff. If I tell you, I know it. I don't like people to tell me stuff that they don't have no experience with, because then you guessing. I'm telling you through my experience. In my present day, God has been working on, the heart of somebody that can help me. And every time I need help, she's been helping me.
Come on.
And let me tell you what I tell God after that, because we supposed to be thankful after somebody
Yeah.
help me.
Uh-huh.
If he's turning her heart for me, God
Yes.
bless her.
Yes.
And then when I said, God, I want you to
Yeah.
bless. I said, one time I was praying and I was thanking him for what he's doing. I said, God, I want you to bless her. I said, and when you bless her, I want you to know that you blessing her. I said, and then I want you to put me on her heart so that you know that you've been good to this one. Because that lets her know. We say, I know I got favor. God, you hear I talk to God.
Yes.
I said, I want her to know that you blessing her because she continues to bless me.
Yeah.
I said, and I want you to do something for her that only you can do.
Yeah.
So she has no other way to know that it's only through you that this
Yes.
is done.
Yes.
And part of it is because she has favor with you because I have favor with him. You
That's
hear
right.
me?
That's right.
And so, because what we say, everything connected to me is blessed.
Yes,
you hear me?
everything.
Everything.
Woo.
And so that's why when you said that, it hit me so deeply because I mean, literally last week, and I'm just watching him do it over and over again. Look, changing the heart of somebody that I need him to change it for, but I don't stop there. I thank him for it. And then what I do is, because even with that, this person already knows God, but we can all get to know him intimately. And who don't want a blessing?
Yes.
Who don't want a blessing?
Yes. Yes.
I guess I'll go ahead into the next question now because we be
Listen,
playing.
This is so good.
It is good.
Iron sharpens iron.
You hear me?
You hear me?
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron.
It absolutely, and that's why the
people.
people around you is important, and that's why I'm putting the people on this platform, because each voice. I always say, I want to. What my mission statement is, and Ideally Crazy, is for you to see yourself through God's eyes.
Amen.
And the way that I do that is bringing people on this platform to share their testimony and showing you how God worked in their life. One thing I told my mother, I said, a little bit from my background, because of the church background I came from. At that time, I'm not going to say currently because I ain't going there currently. But at the time I grew up, I would think that we were told that every time something bad happened to you, you were doing something wrong. And that's absolutely not true.
Oh, honey,
That's
that could be
absolutely
the
not
farthest
true.
from the truth.
That's farthest from truth. So that's another
honey,
reason why I do
you
this.
got pruning stages. You got
to grow.
You got to grow.
You
It's
got to
growing
grow.
pains.
It's growing pains. It's growing pains.
Listen, you know what I learned? You're either in one of these states. You're either going through something. You just came out. Or you on your way back in. And and it's a constant cycle.
It's a
You have to go
constant
through.
cycle.
So that don't mean that I'm doing anything. It ain't happening to me. It's happening for me.
It's happening for me.
It's happening for
Say
me.
it. It's happening. You see that wordage?
For
It's
me.
happening
It ain't
for
happening
me.
to me, but it's happening for me because
It's
it says
happening for
all
me.
things work together for what?
Ooh, the good of those that
So
serve
it's
the
still
Lord.
working. It's still knitting together and working for my good. So my thing is, Lord, what do I need to learn from this? What are you trying to show me? It ain't happening to me, but it's happening for me.
It's happening for me.
And that's the way that you got to go into this thing, because otherwise you either a victor or you're a victim. And I'm not no victim. I'm a victor. So Lord, it's happening for me. It's
for
working.
me.
I know what it looks like, but I'm telling you, it's working for your good.
Period.
You can't see it, but I'm telling you, it's working for your good.
It's working for your good.
I'm telling you.
That I can promise.
That I can promise you.
I mean, it just
Waymaker,
a way maker,
miracle worker,
promise
keeper,
chain breaker.
Come on,
Chain breaker.
chain breaker,
Chain breaker.
chain breaker.
And so I always because my mind had to have that shift, because I couldn't. Why was that so important to know that didn't mean that I was doing something wrong, because it meant I was doing something right. So when you start thinking, okay, I'm doing something right, God's preparing. We build on that. God's preparing me for the things and the desires of my heart. Let me get in here and see God and see how to get it, what I need to do, how to please him. Because he said, come to me, come through me for everything. He said, seek me first, seek ye first the kingdom of God.
Heaven.
And all these things will be added to
his
you.
righteousness and all these things. That's exactly
That's what he says. So that's
exactly
why
what it says.
a flip of thought is changing. And that's why I get on here. I don't want you to think just because you're going through something. A lot of times I'll tell people, I said, the greater the test, the greater the testimony.
Yeah.
So when you serve God, that's what I'm saying. If you done had a hard life, don't stay out there with the devil. Come on in here with God. Because the devil gonna let you, he comes to kill, steal, and destroy.
You know, Rachel, I don't know if you've been seeing it, but it's been going viral right now all over social media. What happened to the young lady in Chicago.
Absolutely.
With her children and what happened. And as devastating as that is,
Yes.
I still see God's hand even in that, because through that was able to get her child out of the school where he was bullied. They've been able to get a car, a home, and so many resources have showed up. But she
And
had to go.
support.
Yes, support.
Because the devil wants to isolate
Exactly.
you. He wanted to think, if he can ruin you as a child and think ain't nobody gonna take up for you, don't nobody love you. He was, because kids are just kids, and these are people's parents that I don't care what you say.
That's right.
I will say, as a parent, and I already have, and it ain't that my kids have always did what they supposed to do, but how we treat people and our character, that is partly formed by what children see, more what they see than what you teach them.
Oh yeah.
So when I say it's a parental problem, it's a parental problem.
Oh yeah.
But letting that little boy think that he was isolated and then the whole community show up.
Yes.
Because the devil always wants you to think you alone. What I tell you about the prophets I got at this time, y'all, 7,000 that ain't bowed. Here these, look, it might have been 10 or 12 kids, but did you see how Chicago turned up for them?
Yep.
So that's what the devil always wants you to think. That's why I said God will always get the glory. At the end of the day, what Daddy said, I'm always gonna go with the winning team. He likes sports, but he said they be like, who you going for? He said he'd be like the winning team. But here's the thing, God is the winning team. The story, we can go. It don't matter what you do, and even in your life, it don't matter what you go through. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm on the winning team. I'm on the. Ain't no way I ain't gonna win.
Yeah.
So you go with what you know. And so, but the devil, that's what he wants to do. He wants to steal your joy. So boy, he'll use poverty. He'll use sickness. He'll use just bad relationships with friends. He'll whatever he got. One I think I will get the devil. He ain't lazy. So you guys still quit being lazy. That's one thing I say. If we the head and we not the tail, then we don't want the world to have more faith than we do. That's right. You know, a lot of them, they believe if they supposed to have it done, especially a certain someone right now, he don't care if they got to change the Constitution for him. He mean for to do it. Right. You ought to be that powerful with your walk in Christ.
That's right.
If God, what I tell God, I said, then listen. You parted the Red Seas. I ain't asking for that. Then if you parted the Red Seas, and listen to this, then he swallowed all of Pharaoh's men. Now, you know, with every little thing, there's always one survival. In that instance, that wasn't even a survival. Only something God could do. So I know he did it. So here's the thing. You did that, and you was that, crisp. I ain't asking you to part the Red Sea. I don't need that. So I know what I'm asking you to do. You can, and you gonna do. Show me what I need to do to be ready for it. Yes. So that's what you said. You don't want. So when we say I'm the head and not the tail, it's not just about how you look. Your mindset. Now, why would you let them have more faith? People can be doing evil and doing everything they're not supposed to do, and they have more power and more peace than you do. The devil is a liar. You hear me? And the truth is not in him. And that's so what I said is, and even when it comes to, I use that in everything. I'm finally get the right. God, it's been a while since I've been on, so I'm giving y'all what I got. But even with that, even with relationships with people always ask me, I'm really, really good at forgiving people. And they always ask me how. And I give no credit to myself. I give credit to God. But there are a few things that I've heard my mother say. One thing my mother said is, she said she was going through something. She said, if this person ain't losing their mind and they ain't even doing right, Lord, don't you let me lose my mind.
You better say it.
And so I say that with people. Now, if they can do me this kind of way and they still go on their merry little way and they happy and they still got peace and they still showing up in the places like they do, I know I'm not gonna let you, and I did right. And my intentions were good. I wish I would let you take my peace. I would let you take my joy, because I'm gonna have joy in doing the right things. I don't know what nobody else gonna have, but I'm gonna have joy. And so in order for me to have joy, it means I got to forgive, because certain things you can't hang on to it, and ain't nobody worth my joy. Ain't nobody worth my peace. You hear me?
That's right.
And here's the thing, I know that whatever happened, God meant it for my favor. It was to build me, not to break me. And I don't look broken. So you know it wouldn't
you don't look broken at all.
You hear me? And so that's what you got to know about God.
And when I think about unforgiveness, right? And I used to hear it all the time. It's like drinking poison and waiting for somebody else to die. Forgiveness, it's not even about them. That's for you.
That's for you.
That's for you, because let me tell you why I'm so quick to forget. Because if I don't, and I'm at all, my prayers are not, listen, you're not that important. I need too much
I need to.
When I speak, I need it from my mouth. You see what I'm saying? And if I know that is it's gonna block me. If that's offense, if that's a gate,
And it is
that is
offense.
blocking. Why would I hold on to that and not get the reason that I can't? I don't even think about it. And then let me tell you, I'm gonna go a step further. If He can forgive me, my God, filthy rags, just despicable. The things that I mean, filthy. Ain't
As the
come
Bible
short.
said,
You
none
talking
are
about
good.
short.
Short.
I was real short. I'm just being transparent for a moment. If He can forgive me, who am I?
To not forgive somebody else.
I wouldn't even consider it.
What she's saying is it will block what you have done. And forgiveness is so important because the Bible says your prayers won't go through to God until you do
They
forgive.
fall on the ground.
They fall on the ground.
You might as well stop.
So you're literally allowing somebody who did something harmful to you to harm you even in a bigger way by hurting yourself. Because what you got to understand, can't nobody hurt you worse than you can hurt yourself.
That's right.
So you don't give nobody that type of power.
That's right.
And when I tell you, you have to.
I mean, like that.
You have, like you said, and then the Bible says none are good.
No.
Sometimes God, sometimes I be getting my kids, I be like, why would they do something? Then what God to do? Just sometimes as I'm thinking, as it's coming out my mouth, He's putting the thought in my head of me doing something similar to it.
Yeah,
girl.
Yeah, but what
humble
did you
yourself?
do? But what did you do?
But what did you do?
Don't forget where you came from.
You
Don't
heard
forget
me?
you did. Yeah. So we have to be in a state of that of forgiveness and making sure that we're taking accountability. I'm real big on apologizing, taking accountability,
Absolutely.
being accountable. It's so important.
It's important.
As a leader. And I realize the first person you lead is you.
Is you.
I can't pour from an empty cup. So if I'm not where I need to be and I'm not taking account, how am I going to hold somebody else accountable to something that I'm not doing or haven't done? That doesn't make any sense.
And I agree so wholeheartedly with that. Okay, we're back with our fourth question. Building trust. Insurance is built on trust and protection. How do you earn the trust of your clients and reassure them they're in good hands?
Being consistent and good communication. So they're going to call. There's times where they want to change beneficiaries. They want to change coverage. They want to add something. They want to take something away. And through that, communicating with them and being consistent and showing up for them constantly is the way to build that trust. So through that, it just connects. You know, we start off as strangers and we end as family, not even friends. So a lot of them, you know, around the holidays, I'll get invites and I get birthday cards, and we send out birthday cards. We send out thank you cards. So they get woven in and become family over a period of time.
Absolutely. I can see why you've been so successful because that's what I call it is building relationships.
Oh, yes.
And so I always say, as a nurse, we wear so many hats. So how I get my patients, same way I build relationships. My patients will people have told me some crazy things that I said I must have talk to me written on my forehead because people will tell me things and I just like, you know, I welcome it all because I love meeting new people and all the different walks of life. And a lot of times, I really will run into either somebody is encouraging me or I'm encouraging them.
You have that though. You have that aura. You people, they gravitate to you. I mean, you have that. It's like a welcoming spirit. So I could see that, you know, happening in you very, very easily. People come in and do that, and I just want to publicly say thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Appreciate your service and what you bring to the community because it's important. We love our nurses, don't we? I think I speak for everybody when I say that.
I know that. I love my community because even the other nurses you work with, sometimes, you know, you'll see what your coworkers go through and you watch how they keep showing up. They keep giving grace. They keep, you know what I'm saying? Patience. Patience is literally a virtue in nursing. in nursing, and like you said, building relationships consistently. When you call me, I come. If you have a problem, that's how I build
That's right.
relationships. So that's how to build any successful relationship with anything, especially and like you said, you send business card, you send birthday card, you send this that. People like to know that they're not just a number to you.
No.
And so when people feel like that, building a relationship lets you know it even lets you know what the business means to that person. It further lets you in to know a little bit of the personality and the character of the person owning the business by them doing that. I don't want to just take and not give.
That's right.
You hear me? I don't want to just take. Yes, thank you for your business, but I care about you. Your day is important because without your birthday, you wouldn't even be
That's
alive.
right.
You hear me?
That's right.
And so that is so important.
Yeah.
Hey, we're back to our next question: challenges and growth. What was one of your most challenging moments in business, and how did your faith help you navigate it?
Let's see. One of my most challenging. Well, probably, I would say when I first got started in the business, that was just learning, because there's so many different facets of the business you have to learn. There's many facets. You wear so many hats. I think that when it was time for promotion, so we know to whom much is given, much is required. And as you elevate and as you go up, that comes with many responsibilities and many challenges. And I would say that as I navigated, or as I started to work my way up to the top, one of the most challenging things is being an African American woman. Okay, because in that industry, or in my industry, we don't dominate in the industry, and so I feel like I've had to overcompensate and prove myself even more so being a woman of color. So I think that was one of my most challenging aspects coming up, and just learning and trying to channel that and navigate through. But I didn't look at it, even though it was challenging, I didn't look at it, I looked at it as an opportunity. Because people don't know what they don't know. And I didn't say, oh, because of that I couldn't. In fact, I knew that I could. And so I just worked harder. Whatever we lack in skill, we make up in time. And so I was determined to work. I was going to outwork anybody around me. I was going to do whatever it was willing to, whatever it took. They said, well, what is it going to take? Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. And when you want success as bad as you want to breathe, you'll have it. You'll have it. That's that thing that wakes you up. That's that thing that gets you up out of the bed. That's your why. You gotta have it. You lay down with it. You wake up. You're chasing that thing, and it's not. I wouldn't say that it's a destination. It's a journey.
It's a journey.
It's a journey. It's a journey, because you're forever learning and all of that. So I had to learn a whole lot, and the challenges they really make you. I embrace adversity.
Oh, yeah.
I embrace it. I learned that my comfort zone was my enemy. Anytime I'm too comfortable, it's like, oh, I'm not growing here. I need to grow. I'm moving from one stage to the next. So I'm always looking for that challenge. I'm competitive. I like to be competent in anything that I do. I love to communicate. I love competition. All of that. I embrace it. So, and when you come from hard knocks, and when you come from the bottom, you don't have anywhere to go but up. So what most people, or what some people would call hard, I don't call hard. I don't call hard. So you got to kind of pick and choose when it comes to that. And I was talking to my mentor recently, and I was like, people talk about throwing in a towel, and I always say I don't have a towel to throw in. I don't have a towel. And he said, well, you can have the towel, but what are you going to use the towel for? Are you using a towel to wipe the sweat off your head and keep going? So again, like I said before, I just encourage, wherever you're at in business, I encourage you to keep going. You have a pruning stage, you have stages that you have to go through where it's time to learn. It's, you sow the harvest is coming, and some people plant, and some people come by and they'll water, but God will give the increase. And that's what you have to remember. He'll give the increase. Go with faith. He said, your faith has made you whole. You know, we have not because we ask not. And a lot of it is, and we don't believe. That's why it's impossible to please him without faith.
Without faith.
So keep that in mind. Yeah, but that's been the most challenging part for me, just being a woman of color. And I just have to give all praise and honor to God that he's still brought me through, and I still have been able to manage a level of success in spite of.
Absolutely. As another woman of color, I completely understand. And one thing we'll talk about in nursing is after we've earned our degrees, and nursing is not easy, you know, when we're getting our degrees. And I've talked about my nursing experience in nursing school a whole lot, where they were literally weeding us out, attempting to weed us out. And it wasn't everybody. It was literally the black females.
Absolutely.
And so, and you could see it because that's what they were doing. And when I say they were doing, you say, well, how did they weed them out? Because, you know, you have people that really don't want to believe in racism, but it still happens.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing it. One way they did it, they would tell people they had the wrong grade. That's what they did with me. I had to literally fight. You say, well, you just tell them they got the wrong grade. What they would try to do is they kept putting off the meeting, so that they were trying to put off the meeting where I couldn't go in and show them that the grade had calculated. They knew they were wrong in the beginning. They didn't need me to tell them. You hear me? They knew that they were wrong in the beginning, but they were trying to steal. So that's what I like to always say is that when people think, oh, if you work hard, working hard is really good, but it's not the only thing that matters. That's not the only thing that comes against you is what I'm saying.
That's right. That's right.
We, people of color, both black men and both black women, we can do what is right, and somebody will still try to steal it from us. You know, they'll still try to steal what belongs to us from us. And I had earned that grade. You say, well, you can get what you earn. Somebody will still try to take it from you. But that goes to show the glory of God and how the glory of God works in my spirit, because I'm not giving up. When God tells me something is my territory, and my territory is whatever it is.
That's it.
Honey, you're not going to have more power. You're not going to have more fight. You ain't going to have more tenacity about something that I know belongs to me than I do. And so that's why I went after the girls that were weeded out. You know, they were a little bit more timid in spirit. And sometimes people don't know that there's a way. Don't ever the only way that you gonna lose is if you quit.
That's it.
I mean, you go at it. My dad always laughs. I remember we had to go to a meeting, and the men, because they automatically judge people by the, black men. They were really uncomfortable with my dad being in the meeting, right? And my daddy kind of laughed, because my dad is the sweetest, nicest man. He said, it's not me you have to worry about. It was me and him. He said, it's not me you have to worry about, because it was me. I always say that God, he put me in a nice cloak so that my enemy don't see me coming. I said, as nice and pretty and sweet and ladylike as I am, don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? And I know how to do that professionally. I mean, I'm fighting, but I'm smart. And, whatever you put into yourself, educate yourself, learn. Anybody can do this.
That's right.
Anybody can do it if you take the time to do it.
Yeah.
And so you are going to have things that you are going to have disadvantages. But what you do is you know what God said, what you believe is all that matters.
That's all that matters.
And like she said earlier, and what T.D. Jakes says, he said either you're going in a battle or you coming out one.
That's it.
And so when I did that, once you accept that, you say, well, Lord, what are we going up against today? You know what I'm saying? Because you know that the Lord is on your side. And how you know that the Lord is on your side? You go through him.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? What I said at nursing school, I set myself down. I said, listen, Lord, when I prayed, because even in nursing school, I told you, I didn't have a relationship with God until had his now. Until COVID. But before, I always prayed. I always, you know how them people that only call them when they need something? I was one of them. I'm not going to lie. But it still built a relationship, because that means that phone line was still open. But I told the Lord, I said, I know that what I'm doing is good. I said, so I know it's of you. I said, it's going to be prosperous for my family. I said, I know that it's changing the trajectory of my life because I'll always be able to, if not get a job, create a position for myself.
That's it.
I said, so not only is it changing the trajectory of my life, it was changing the trajectory of my children's life.
That's
I
right.
would not be a statistic. You hear me? And so I told myself that. And once I told myself that, I didn't accept nothing else. And I mean, I could tell you story after story. But what I will tell you, it was God when he was changing people's hearts, when he was giving me push, whatever it was, God was right there with me the whole time. And some situations he showed up before me. You hear
Yes.
me? And that's what he always does. You just
Yes.
don't know it. He's
He'll
already
go
shown
before
it.
you.
He's already gone
He
before
will go
you.
before you.
And he's sharpening you so that you can go to the levels. Because anything worth having, you're going to have to work for.
That's right.
I always say that with people. My daddy said with women, he never wanted to be around nobody who didn't want nothing. So,
Me either.
we in a day and age.
either.
You hear me?
Me
I
either.
don't want nobody who don't want nothing. We in a day and age where we hear a lot about a conversation about, I want a woman that don't do that. You not looking, we don't even need to keep having conversations with men to talk like that. Let them have whatever they want to have. Whatever they looking for is out there. Like I told y'all before, I don't argue with people about stuff like that because I'm looking for somebody who wants to and will. You hear me?
Yes.
And I'm not looking for him, but that's what I'm receiving in my life because I know from my physical father, baby, it's nothing that he won't give me. And
That's right.
to my godly father, there's nothing that is going to be good for me that he's not going to give me. So now why would God send me a man that don't want to treat me like that?
That's right.
When the first man he sent me treated me like
That's
that.
right.
And so I said, I know I'll let things go, and even with people, yeah. And it's not trying to get over because I know the character that I've built in myself.
That's
I know
right.
that I love, so I should receive love. I know that I'm loyal, so I should get it back.
That's
so
good.
it's literally building yourself. I know that I'm educated, so I don't want somebody who don't know nothing. It don't mean you have to have a degree because some people just got it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Some people they're just highly intelligent, highly wise. But I know that I want somebody who loves to learn because I love to learn. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So I started doing stuff like that. She said, write the plain, make it clear. When you're right, we talk about Sierra's letter. When they say write the letter, tell what my best friend says,
Yeah.
what does it look like? What does the partner that you feel like that you can live with look like? And
That's
start
right.
writing things like that. I love to learn, so I probably need somebody who loves to learn. I love to travel. I probably need somebody who likes to travel.
That's it.
And so stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get back to the. I know because I drop a little. If I got it, I'm gonna drop it. If God give it to me, I'm gonna drop it. But we gonna get back on the subject. So, financial literacy and legacy. Why is financial education important, especially in our communities? And how do you hope your work contributes to generational wealth and security?
I would say that financial education is important. It's very, very important. And let me just share this with you. Coming up, you basically spent what you had and begged for whatever you needed. Okay? Was never taught about credit. Was never taught the principles of saving. Well, you can't even get into saving when you don't even have the bare minimum. What are you saving? You don't even have enough to
cover what you need.
So we can't get into that. Was never taught about investments. Never taught these things. And so educating the community and making sure that they understand like I'm really big about educating my daughter now on the principles of credit and saving and not spending and being a good steward over the 90%. And just, I have this thing that I always say, Zaya, if there's no purpose, there's no purchase.
You hear me?
If there's no purpose, there's no purchase. Now, I'm not saying that there's not times where, you go on vacation or you may want to treat yourself to something here and there. But overall, are you making investments? And just having your money in the bank don't do nothing for you. Don't do anything.
You can't save yourself to millions.
No, not at all.
Be happy.
No. So I'm hoping that in insurance in the community, this is how I can contribute. Okay. Having the insurance in place. Okay. Say we take an average family right now. They're living paycheck to paycheck. Okay. It's already tight. It's rough. The breadwinner passes. Okay. So that income is taken out. We have something that we offer called income protection. So if he's bringing home $2,000 a week, we're going to make sure that that $8,000 for the next 5 years is still coming into that home for that family, to make sure they don't have to adjust their lifestyle. They can still take care of the children, the bills, and so forth and so on. So we can take care of that. I can contribute to make sure that this next family doesn't have to lose their home, doesn't have to, to foreclose on their home, that they don't have to move what they're already accustomed to and have to make all these adjustments, because we put a plan in place to protect this family.
Absolutely.
I can contribute to that all day long. And then go a step further, just educating them and helping people make the right investments and take care of your credit. Coming up, they say cash was king, but credit is king now. I don't know when it switched, but I can tell you right now, you could do a whole lot with great credit that you can't even do with cash.
You hear me?
So I'm telling you, it blows my mind. Credit is king. Take care of your credit. Take care of it. It's so important. Pay your bills, pay your debt, do whatever you need to do to take care of that. Because if you don't have that, your name, your name is everything. If you don't have that, people don't trust you and they don't want to take a chance on you.
They don't want to take a chance on you.
No.
And what I started learning when I got into entrepreneurship, which means having a business and stuff like that, EIN, credit works a lot differently in business credit than personal credit. And as long as you're paying your bills on time and stuff like that, they don't mind you having a lot, giving you a lot more money. But in personal credit, if you use too much on your credit, you know how it goes against you. It's a little bit different in business credit.
Utilization, absolutely.
So it looks a little bit different. And so there are literally, when I say I'm preaching, if it's what God's giving you to do, I preach entrepreneurship, it's because there are literally benefits in owning a business. Like the game changes up for you a little bit. You hear me?
It does, big time.
And it gives you, like she said, you have access to more than what you would normally have.
Absolutely.
If people didn't, because businesses make money and they keep revenue coming into our economy. So we want to support things like that so that we can keep the flow of money. And so a business has a greater possibility than doing it than just one individual. And so that's a little bit of a reason why business credit works a little bit different than personal credit.
Absolutely.
And so, like you said, it's so important in our community because money is a tool. It's a resource.
It is.
And so when you have a tool or resource, it's like anything else. You want to find how you can do everything you can do with it. So, yeah, we're going to make it. We're going to save it. We're going to invest it. We're going to do it. We're going to flip all of that. Money is a tool. You have to use it a different way to get a different outcome, or use it different ways to get multiple different outcomes that are all beneficial to you. Yes. You hear me? And so a lot of times we don't believe, not we don't believe, but I've heard people say that like Christians are not supposed to be wealthy. That's not true. Huh? You hear people say, or even when people get educated food. Now, why would God want anything that he be in not to grow?
He is a cattle upon 1,000 hills.
What'd he say?
We are the lender
and not the borrower.
So if you're lending, you have to have the resources to lend, correct? You need capital, you need resources to be able to lend. So that doesn't, no.
You guys know I've been listening to Exodus. I told you I read my Bible and I do it audio. But one of the things in Exodus, when the people of God left Egypt, he had them to give them gold and silver. So if money don't matter to God, and they didn't have nowhere to go yet. You hear me? He was preparing him. They gave them. He didn't have them give them food. That wasn't in the scripture. He had them give them gold and silver and stuff like money. You understand what I'm saying? But in that day, gold is more valuable than cash. You understand? So not only did he give them good things, he gave them something more valuable than cash. So when I say ain't no lack in God, in every sense of the word, you can multiply that in every sense of that.
Yes.
There is no lack in God.
Yes.
So it does matter to God, and he wants you to his wish is for you to do well.
Yes.
And he knows part of doing well is you have to have the resources to do well.
Yes.
So this is our last question. I'm gonna add, because I want her to make sure she tells you about the names of her business and stuff, that so you can look her up and get in contact with her. You guys know how I say, anytime I work with somebody, I'll be reposting their stuff and stuff like that so that you can find them. But entrepreneurship can be a faith walk. What advice would you give to someone who feels called to business but fears starting?
I would say just start.
Just start.
Just start. Just start. Just start. Just start. And when you start, in fact, if you take the first step and just put one foot in front of the other, I'm confident, I'm convinced, I'm fully persuaded that God would lead you and guide you and take you right there. But it starts with you. You have to just get started. That's with anything. Whatever the business may be, just get started. And if you're going to start with the vision, with the blueprint. Write it down. Make it plain. Like, my vision is just not on my desk. It's not just in my mission statement. It's not just right here. I have little Post-it notes everywhere, and because it's just all around. You have to be engulfed. You have to be ensued with that vision, and you have to understand what it is and go after it. So I encourage you to just start. And don't procrastinate. Don't, because what happens is you miss opportunities. You miss opportunities. Sacrifice creates opportunities. So you have to just start and just put one foot in front of the other and say, you know what, God, I know that you can do this. I know what you have. What you said in Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans that you have for me. So when you get to that level, you just have to start. Don't let fear sabotage your future. Don't let fear steal your dreams, your ambitions, your goals. Don't let fear steal your wealth, your wealthy place. Don't allow fear to do that. Don't let it paralyze you. Don't let it cripple you.
That's what it'll do.
Don't say I can't. Say I can. I will. I shall.
I will.
You're not fighting for victory. You're fighting from victory.
You hear me?
This is a fixed fight. You have to understand.
Fixed fight.
The fight's already fixed.
I always say skip to the end.
Skip to the end. This is a fixed fight. I'm not fighting for victory. I'm fighting from victory. If I already know, it's almost like this, Rachel. I think about this. This is why faith is so important, because God He wants us to believe. That's why He says it's impossible to please me without faith. Because if He could just show you in this crystal ball, in the end, and you see all the glitter and gold, and it's like, you're over here. You can't even see a glimpse of this because it's dark. And it gets the darkest before dawn. You do know that, right? So all of this is taking place, but over here in this crystal ball, He's showing you, you're going to have this, and you're going to be able to do that, and I'm going to save that person, and they're going to be all right too, and this is going to happen, and all of these things is going to go on, but this is the end. And then he's not doing that, but what He's saying is, trust me, even when you can't trace me, even when you don't feel like I'm there, even when you feel like your prayers are going unanswered, trust me. Trust me, because I'm telling you, He is a way maker, a miracle worker, a promise keeper, a light in the dark. He's going to see you through. So just get started.
Absolutely. And like you said, there is nothing that God can't do. His wishes are for you to do well. And you guys know I like to talk about how I listen to different motivational speakers and pastors and just people who are talking about the things that I want to learn about. You know what I'm saying? And what Bishop T.D. Jakes says is, he said, what if you knew at the end that take the things you know about God. You know that he's a way maker. You know he's a problem solver. He said, well, wouldn't that mean that there really wasn't a problem? When I tell you that managed my that helped me climb on top of my
I never
anxiety.
thought about it like
he
that.
said, because I'm a conceptual thinker.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I said, well, this really ain't no problem.
it ain't.
And so after I got there, I said, well, if I feel like it's a problem, that means I ain't handed it off. Because God said if you feel like that the burden is too much, that means you trying to carry too much.
That's it.
So that means I ain't handed it off to God yet. So, and once I handed it off, I know my Father.
This it.
Now, what is it that he cannot do? So there really ain't even
Fail.
a problem. Whatever I'm going through right now is to build me so that I can give God the glory.
That's right.
And so that I can draw others to him, and so that I can do things to help people, help my family, help other people, and help.
That's right.
And I'm going to do that in the kingdom of God.
Amen.
Because through my Father, there is no failure.
Come on.
So you start at the end. So this is part 2. We're going to jump in our questions. I had a little bit of trouble with my phone, and so I had to fix that. But we're back, and we're going into part 2. So we're going to jump back into the questions. When did you realize entrepreneurship, specifically in insurance, was part of your purpose and not just a profession?
Well, I would probably say it was after I got into it. When you first get into it, it's exciting. You're protecting families. It's lucrative too, obviously, but you get to protect families. But when I got a call when one of your clients passed, okay. And you actually go with the family to the funeral home, and you kind of usher and just be there for the family. You really start to see that this is not a job. This is not just a career. This is a passion. This is your purpose. Your purpose starts to come to life, and you realize the impact, because you're with this family at a time when they're most vulnerable, when they need you the most, when they're so vulnerable and they need questions answered. They don't know how to do the paperwork. They don't know what to do. And we have something called the Freedom of Choice Certificate, and we're able to give it over to the funeral director, while they're able to call our corporate office, confirm that the policy is in fact active. We issue a check right away, and the remainder sent to the beneficiary. But it just cuts down all of the this and that benefit of assignment, going through all of those changes so they can proceed with the arrangements. Because you got to understand, someone just lost a loved one. They're emotional. They're hurt. They're grieving. And a lot of times when people's in that state of mind, especially grief, they tend to make not so sound judgment. They're just, their emotions is all over the place. So I believe when one of my first clients passed, I think everything came to light for me at that moment, when I was with the family and everything. And I'm like, this is huge. This matters. This matters.
It matters.
It matters. And so that's when I just took it and I said, this is purpose.
Absolutely.
This is passion, and this is purpose.
Absolutely. And I understand what you said, because like you said, you see how it actually, when you went and seen how it played out at the end, you got to see how it actually affected people's lives. And what I can say, even as a registered nurse, when people are grieving, they don't have a clear mind. And so it's hard for them to make business decisions and stuff like that. So what I want to do is also encourage you right now, do things some things we know is coming around. Everybody that's born has to die. You hear me? And so you want to prepare yourself for things like that. Make it easier on yourself and your loved ones. Don't be one of those people that die and you don't have no life insurance. You know your family is struggling, and you still, like, you just didn't take no thought to it, because it doesn't really even take a whole lot of money a month to pay for it.
It is so, people, I don't know the myth or the logic behind people thinking that life insurance. I like to say it like this. So we have car insurance. Most people pay a couple $100, just depending on what type of car they drive, or if they have multiple vehicles, right? Think about health insurance. It's expensive, health insurance, okay? Now, with car insurance, we know you have to have it by law, but in addition to that, I'm not sure if you've ever had a car accident or anything like that. when it comes to health insurance, not even sure if you've ever been sick, had a surgery, or anything like that. But life insurance is one insurance you're going to use at some point. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That time is coming. And the thing about it is, what do you want to happen when that time comes? And have the conversation. Like right now, my company, we're giving out $2,000. They're called AD&D. It's $2,000 accident certificates of insurance. It only pays out if you pass from an accident. Doesn't cost you anything. You have to do what is called a needs analysis presentation with us to go over the assessment, but they can get that absolutely free of charge. Okay, that doesn't cost them anything, but you got to start to have these conversations because you want to put your family in the best position possible. If you go, what does that mean for your parents, your children, your loved ones? And if nothing else, make sure they don't have the burden of having to at least bury you. You know,
Along with their grief.
there you go, because they're already grieving. They've already lost you. Do you really want to put them through that is the question. And most people don't want to do that. Most people. And then I hear crazy things like, oh, I'm going to donate my body to science. No, you're not. Because when it comes to science, they're looking for rare diseases, and most of them are healthy. And I'm like, science is
telling
not going to take your body. You don't qualify.
When we call, as a nurse, when we lose a patient, we have to call CODA. And there are a series of questions we have to answer about the patient's history.
Yep.
Now, the nurse normally asks, we are the ones that call CODA. We do not approach the patient or the family about CODA, but we have to answer. So before they even, if they're going to go and approach the family, they have to see if, like you said, if the body qualifies.
And most of them don't. And that's why I tell people, most of them don't. They say, oh, I'm just going to do no. And the funeral home, they're not going to pick up the body without knowing how they're going to be paid.
Dispose of it.
They're just not. The more,
because nothing's free.
Yeah, it's just not.
This is not heaven. You can't even die for free. You hear me? You can't even die for free. You hear me? And so, with insurance is a good way for people to leave their families in a better financial position. And that's what we have to accept. You know that you're going to die. We all do. So why not leave your family? And the Bible says a good man leaves behind an inheritance to his seed. You hear me? So that's one revenue. That's one way that you can ensure. Because what she said, that one's gonna turn out because you got to come up out of here.
Yes,
we all do.
Yes.
So if you don't do nothing else, start somewhere. This is a good place to start because this is a guaranteed way that you are going to be able to leave behind an inheritance for your children, at least one way. So before we wrap up this evening, I want to make sure that Miss London Nelson tells us a little bit more about her businesses so that you know how to get in contact with her, because like she's saying, she's offering products that everybody needs. Or say, can she? Who is her clientele? Everyone. So I want her to tell you a little bit more about that. And like I said, every time I'll promote anything I see, I'll be sharing.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Rachel. I appreciate it. So again, I'm London Nelson, and I own the Nelson Insurance Company. It is Nelson Agency, American Income Life. It's a sector of Globe Life. Obviously, Globe Life is publicly traded, but it is a life insurance company, and we do have products and benefits to help working families. So I kind of want to go over that. One, we have whole life policies. We also have term policies. We have accidental policies. We have hospitalization policies. We have cancer policies. We have a variety of products to be able to service individuals or whoever would like to get service. But let me tell you about something that's not going to cost you anything. We also have a $2,000, we have some no-cost benefits. It's $2,000 of accidental insurance. It only pays out in the event you pass from an accident, but it does not cost you anything, and you can take advantage of that. We also have another no-cost benefit. It's called an AIL Plus card, which is designed to save you on any of your medical expenses, chiropractor, vision, telemedicine. It's a wide variety of things that it covers to give you discounts. We also have a free will kit Do you have your will in place? So you can have this as a legal and binding document. You fill it out. You will need to have it notarized, but that is something else that we give at no charge to you. So we have that will kit as well. So I do have some no cost benefits that I would love for you to at least to be able to take advantage of. If you currently have insurance, perfect. I would also like to take a look at that because a lot of times people don't know what they have. So you need to know what you have, how it's going to pay out in the event something should happen. A lot of times people don't look at this until it's too late. So let's make sure you don't think you have a whole life policy when in fact you have a term, or you have accidental when you think you have term or whole life. Let's take a look at this so that I can educate you properly so you can make the best judgment and do what's best for you and your family. I'm going to give you my contact information so that you can get in contact with me. My direct number is 502-417-3380. I'm going to repeat that. It's 502-417-3380. Also, on Facebook, I'm under London Nelson. And then on Instagram, I'm under Nelson underscore organization. I'm on there under Globe Life. You can see our symbol, which is GL. You're going to see the globe on there. But you can contact me any of those ways. I'll be glad to get you in touch with one of my agents. I have several agents that I work with alongside. They work underneath me, and I call them my partners because they are my partners. They'll be glad to reach out and do what is called a free needs analysis, so we can go over what you have, what you may need, and see if there's something that we can do to help you. Also, don't be afraid to reach out if you have some pre-existing health conditions. We have things that can cover you even with those pre-existing health conditions, depending on what it is. We at least need to talk about it and discuss it and see if we can do something for you, because that prevents people from, they automatically think they don't qualify. And that's not always the case. We just need to see what it is, and if we can't, we can always point you in the right direction. But let's try to get you covered. And if you're the person that you know you're going to be responsible for making the final arrangements, let me give you an example. If you're a mother and you have adult children, and in your mind you're like, well, they're adults, they need to take care of that, but they haven't taken care of that. My question to you is this: are you going to be, whose lap is that going to fall in if something should happen? And if it's yours, then let's talk. Okay, let's talk about doing something that's feasible, something that works within your budget so that we can get your family properly covered. If you're someone that's older, we can still customize a package to fit that plan as well, because a lot of times our seniors are on fixed income. So we like to do something that is suitable for them, where it's more affordable, but they still have what they need. So you don't know what you don't know. So what I'm asking you to do is to reach out, at least make contact. Let's sit down, have this conversation, and see if we can protect your family so that you have a peace of mind. That's all that it is. If you don't wake up, at least you know they can bury you and your affairs are in order and things can be taken care of.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna say this one last thing. You guys know I'm a single mother, and so even though that my children's fathers have always been in their life, even when finances are concerned, I've always operated like an independent person. So even when I'm getting things, I remember my mama used to say, "Why are you buying all that stuff for this, that, and another?" And because I'm not thinking about what somebody else is gonna do. I do what I want to do for my children. That's how it's always gonna be. You hear me? And so I'm not looking for their fathers to leave an inheritance. Mama gonna leave one. You hear me?
That's right.
Even with insurance plans, I have coverage for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, I don't even worry about what the next person had. And this is how I always operated, because it feels good to be independent. Independence is a peace of mind. And that's why I would tell my mama, what I told my mama, I said, because when I do it, I know it's done.
That's right.
So, I know when I do it, I know that it's done.
That's right.
And you don't ever want to put something else in somebody else's lap
That's
that
right.
you can actually take care of for yourself. Independence is always going to be a peace of mind. And you want to, a mother no matter what age her children is, she's always going to be looking out for her children in some way, shape, or form.
That is
and
so
so this
true.
is definitely another way that even though they're adults, that we're looking out for them in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
And it's educational
It
because
is
we want to
very.
we want to keep passing this to each generation.
Absolutely.
And so I support this. I definitely understand the importance of it in our community, and even how important the discussion is.
Yes.
Because a lot of conversations we haven't been having.
No, I see GoFundMe's every day. And let me give you an example. You know, Christmas is coming up right now. Okay. And everybody, I got to get this. I got to get the PS5 and I got to get this. I got to make sure all these things is under the tree. But I want you to keep this in mind. God forbid you don't either make it to Christmas or next Christmas you're not here. We want to give the gift that keeps on giving.
You hear me?
That's what life insurance does. It's giving your family a peace of mind.
Absolutely.
So while the toys and the gifts are important, this is even more important. This is even more important.
Absolutely.
People have money for their cell phone bills. They have money for cable. They have money for Wi-Fi. But I can guarantee you, if you pass away, ask yourself, is Charter, is Spectrum, is T-Mobile, is AT&T going to put anything towards your burial? Have your affairs in order. Because when you don't, you leave that burden on the people whom you love the most. And that's the reality of this.
That is so true. So we hope that you find something that we've said today spiritually, emotionally, and financially, because you always know my first show was called Holistic Living Girls Guide.
Oh yeah.
This is still with that concept, but we just doing it a little bit different. You hear me? So that's it. Even with the plan, don't ever be afraid of changing your plan. You hear me? Because God's got greater. Now, won't you look like doing the same thing? God is the same, but he moves and he works differently in different situations.
He most
and I
certainly
want to be
does.
like my Father. So
That's
I thank
right.
you guys for coming today and listening to me. This is probably, you've listened to different parts, but this time I'm gonna challenge you. Tell somebody else, because I'm working on growth. Tell somebody else you know about Ideally Crazy. I want you to take this video and share it with somebody that you know. Share it to some, and you don't have to take it little by little. Look, I don't care if you listen to 5 minutes. I hope that whatever's within that 5 minute, God gives to you to bless your heart.
Amen.
I love you. Until the next time, have a good day.
Bye-bye. Thank you.